Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities. We'll work our way through the dollar yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into all of these areas, sectors looking for potential investment opportunities. We'll go over some of those opportunities this weekend, Saturday, 7 a.m. Mountain Time's our next question and answer session. There are some questions that people have written in. I've got them documented, and we can go over them, and we can also go over some of the companies as well. So let's dive in. Let's take a look, see what's going on today. The dollar. So we were kind of slowly creeping out of this rising wedge to some degree, but this still looks bullish, guys. I know it's a rising wedge, but not much um, downward pressure in that circle there. There's a small little red candlesticks pulling back, and we got a big bullish bullish engulfing candlestick today. That says it wants to go up. Now, I'm sure interest rates are driving this. So right now, the dollar looks strong. The 2 year also up about 1%. It's trying to break down below this, and I'm sure in all honesty, guys, this is what makes this a little bit funky. All right. I go and I watch these chart patterns. If this was a legit chart pattern, where would this large selling pressure come from? Like it just came out of nowhere. We had big surges, small selling pressure, bullish engulfing, small selling pressure. And then this day there, out of the blue, we just get a monster selling pressure day. I think that's the plunge protection team. Both of these days here. And today, maybe they took the day off or something. It's a Friday. They just like, you know what? We're not going to the office. It came back up again. But that's what we're seeing right now. It's a battle between the buyers and sellers. It's kind of weird seeing these two candlesticks there. That's all I'll say. And then the 10-year yield, it's pulled back, but to me, it looks like we're right at support, and it looks like it wants to try to work its way on up. The 30 year is doing the same thing. We've got the contraction of the candlesticks right back to support here. And that's where we're getting some support. That's why there's a wick at the bottom. And I do think that this could potentially head higher as this kind of rolls around. And again, the 10 year and the 30 year, they're sitting on top of big patterns. There's the pattern that we've broken out of. So even if we go down, even if this is a return move, it could be just a back test. So yields still look good. And we did get some strong selling pressure, at least these couple of past days there. And we'll see if we get a turn here. The TYX TNX ratio, it didn't go anywhere today, 0.04, down 0.04%. I've got this drawn in awesome thing here. Let's draw it a little bit better here, and something on the lines of this. Maybe a little bit of squeezing. And we are just tracking sideways for this ratio. When this ratio comes upward, that's when gold does incredibly well. TLT bond price was tracking sideways on the 20 year, so basically flat. We had this big gap up in the morning here of that big candlestick that we saw on yields. That's that day where they gapped it. The 2 and the 10, the yield curve's inverting. It's moving on up. Kind of a weird, I don't know. This is really weird in my opinion. We've been up here for a really long time. And a lot of people are pulling the recession trigger because they think that yields are coming down and the yield curve's going to invert. And maybe that's the possible route. But that's not how oil and copper and all these other ones are trading. So what do you prioritize? Do you prioritize the yield curve uninverting, or do you prioritize copper breaking to the upside? Do you think we're going to come back and reinvert? Difficult to say. But we'll watch it here together, and this is a broken downtrend line, and it looks like it wants to go back up. There's your downtrend, and it's starting to move on up. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Gold down about $12 an ounce. We're sitting above this support level, and we'll see if it holds and moves higher. I think it looks good. It looks good from this point here forward, and then the breakout, and that looks good to go higher. Everything looks a-okay, and obviously it's very bullish from a longer term perspective. Silver down 2.2%. We're right underneath resistance. The resistance line I've got going in there, we're right underneath it. Um, and we'll see if we can break out here. A lot of the equities, the silver mining companies, were up today, almost like they are positioning for a move higher in silver. Platinum up 1.7%, putting in a big fat bullish engulfing. This is a bullish formation. And we're at the tip of this pattern that we've been squeezing in. Now, some people are going to say we need to wait for this to either break upward or downward. I'm not so sure about that. I think we're going up because we're at the cost curve. They're cutting back production. It's not profitable to produce platinum group metals at this price. And it's not just platinum, it's the combination of all three metals. So you're telling me that we could go lower, which could be, I mean, it's temporary for sure, temporary, but it can't stay down here, guys. They're going to cut back production massively. And platinum, well, they don't make as much platinum anymore. That's basically going extinct. So it's going to go up. Just give it time. And then palladium's up 1%. It's on support, working its way on up. Still looks good, and we've broken out of this falling wedge. GDX up 0.44%, GDXJ up 0.48, and SILJ up 0.19. We don't have a ton of selling pressure here. We do have some large green candlesticks. It's kind of that setup I look for, and I do think we'll work our way on up. We need gold and silver to start moving to help us. So that's what we really need. XAU to gold, they did outperform gold itself because gold was down today and the miners were up, and we're at support. And again, we are at a cheap area for gold and silver mining companies in relationship to gold compared to history. Look at this thing. And I do think it's going to go way up with time. A lot of people are going to get frustrated out of their mind waiting for this. But if you're going to buy bottoms, patience is required. It's the way it is. Crude oil down 0.55%. I think that this is a bullish formation that we are creating. Now, again, I don't trade the short term. I don't try to market time the short term. I do buy stocks when they're down. But the way that I view this is we've got big green candlesticks, and we're probably putting in some sort of flag pattern consolidation here. We don't have a ton of selling pressure, so if we were going to come on down, they'd start sticking out the big red candlesticks, the big reds. They're not there, so this looks like a consolidation where we'll eventually work higher, and that's had that type of look from that point forward. TTF gas up 2.5%. It's still in the channel, still looking good, working its way on up. Getting a little bit of a shellacking in natural gas in America. Big selling pressure candlestick today, down almost 8%, right on support. We'll see if the support line holds, and that support line is this blue line going across here. If we break out, it's a big runner. It could run very high, and maybe, I don't know. I don't know what's going on today with all that selling pressure. Our boy XOP, yeah, you know me, down slightly. We were down slightly in crude oil, down slightly in XOP. We were sitting on top of the this guy here, which is the neckline. You can also draw it down this way too. There's your neckline. It's a shoulder, head, and a shoulder that's developing here. And then we could go boom to the upside. And that's where I'm watching because crude oil is broken to the upside. Now we just need oil to engage. And I think XOP is going to be running. OIH was up 1.8%. It was juicing the move already. Now, the majority of this resistance is right here. You can see if I draw that where the closing prices are on all these, a lot of resistance right where that white line is, and that's right where we're at. So we're at resistance. Newcastle coal futures up 3.14%. It's getting a little bit jiggy with it. I think that this is probably going to be a bottom here. I would be a buyer in coal and coal equities. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust down slightly, still within this gigantic flag pattern. I'm sure people are saying, well, why is it not breaking out? The thesis, we've got demand, supply. Guys, the market just is going to bore you to death. It's going to have you sell your shares so they can pick up your shares. And then it will break out. And then, of course, all the retail guys will come running in after the big breakout. Because what do? They chase price performance. That's all they do. Uranium spot or uranium futures market looking good. It's squeezing up. It's ready to break at any time, I think. Looks good. URA up 2.45%. So we're seeing positioning in the equities. That's a good sign. URNM also up 1.5%, and URNJ up 2.5%. So we're getting some positioning in the equities, not so much in the futures market yet, but it could come soon. Copper down 2%. It's probably going to do a retest move. There's your breakout. So breakout, retest, somewhere in that area is a possibility. Again, no one knows with 100% certainty what will happen. But to me, this is very bullish. Why is it bullish? Because if the sellers are going to push this thing, they would have done it here. Why would we get a bunch of buyers to step in this thing and then break it on the upside? So this looks bullish. I think we're going higher for copper, and that's also a sign that maybe yields continue higher. Maybe Dr. Copper is sending a signal that we've got a strong manufacturing PMI, which we do. We do have a strong thing, and maybe we're going to go higher here. COPX also up 0.5%. Iron ore still squeezing big time, squeezing into the corner here, much like platinum is, much like a lot of other base metals. Now, copper broke to the upside. What makes you think that copper, let's put copper over, let's overlay copper on this bad boy. I bet you it's pretty dang close. Yep, pretty dang close. We had a move lower. They both bottomed in 2015-16, and they're both moving on up. Iron ore is just a leveraged play over copper. So my choice of running would be iron ore here whenever it breaks. Aluminum's playing with it. It's playing with it. You've got my awesome chart here. Let's get some of this stuff out of here. You know what I can do? Check this out, guys. We can remove it. Then I can draw a nice little, you know what? Let's do a horizontal line here. So we're going to do a horizontal trend line. Here we go. Oh, right there. We're right at resistance, trying to break out of this thing. We could kind of say that this is a shoulder-ish, head, shoulder that we could potentially be breaking out of. So that's what I see there in aluminum. And when it breaks, I think we're going to get a big run out of it. Nickel up 0.5%. It's starting to turn, guys. It's looking good. Nickel's starting to look better. Moves up 0.7%. We got a big bullish engulfing on the weekly candlestick. Looking good. Looking good. I think we're going to continue higher. Looks good. Emerging markets. We had a weaker dollar. No, we had a stronger dollar today. We were up 0.8%. It's holding on pretty good despite the stronger dollar. Gary up 1.5%. Looking good, feeling good. Tan down. Tan's down 0.84 with the stronger dollar, stronger yields. Lithium up 1.5%. We're getting close to a potential break here, and I do think we'll get a break. It's looking good. The reason I think we're going to get a break is this big bullish engulfing candlestick there and then the small selling pressure. Almost always I see these, you get a big candlestick and then you get some selling pressure like this, and it's just more or less a flag pattern. It doesn't matter how good this pattern looks. They're all roughly the same thing. It's understanding what's behind the pattern, not just cool looking, like really clean looking charts or patterns. I find that that's not it's not a big deal to have a clean chart. You can have a really dirty looking setup and it still works. REMX up 1%. I think this is probably going to work its way on up eventually, but it's looking better. We've broken out of the downtrend line, that big downtrend line there. We have a bottom here and we have a higher low. So we need to create a higher high. That's what's next for a bottom. Baltic Dry Index down 3.7%. It's moving sideways there, but a bigger selling pressure day this week or day. XHB up 0.42%. It has been working its way on up, but yields, I don't know. We'll see what yields do here. Russell 2000 right at resistance. We've got S&P 500 up 1%, but it's kind of at resistance, kind of not. It's kind of a weird looking deal here. It's real close, but it is above it. NASDAQ up 1.5%. This is a weird looking chart too. Kind of right, you got some resistance there, and maybe we can copy this and put it down there. Some sort of pattern there. Flag pattern maybe? That is bullish if it's a flag. It's downward facing, which is generally bullish. SMCI down 1%. Still looks good. It's holding on. NVIDIA up 3%. It's right above its resistance support line. Bitcoin up about 4.8%. Looks really good to try to move to the upside here. Ethereum up 6.2. That looks good. We're still squeezing in this pattern. We'll see if we can break out. MicroStrategy is just a leverage play to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin moving higher and MicroStrategy is ripping with Bitcoin. And then the VIX is down 3.8%. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. We do have a discount coupon code that is available for you. And that's all I've got for today. We do have, again, a reminder, question and answer session coming up tomorrow, which is Saturday, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. If you want to attend and join that. They're all recorded and they're all uploaded to the website. So if you can't make it, no big deal. It'll be uploaded on the website. All right, guys, we'll catch you later. This is Finding Value.